true way. So that's why we need to investigate where did we come from. So if we now we have eliminated the possibility that self-creation is possible, the only position we are left with, something made us, something created us. If something created us,
What was the reason?
what was the reason?
What's the purpose?
Correct.
I
Why
mean,
is it
why?
so important? Because it's a big
Because
question to ask people.
can I ask you something?
Some people can't think that much.
But this is the thing. You see, we are different from other creatures because we have what? Intellect. Intellect allows us to see the things from different perspectives and think. You see, look at the round. Look, we have achieved such an advancement in technologies, in medicine, in science, and everything else because of intellect, ability to learn,
Yeah.
study,
Yeah.
think rationally,
Yeah.
use logic, math, and other things in order to improve our life in every possible way.
Yeah.
So everything has a what? Beginning, a reason why it exists, and everything has to have a conclusion, how it should gonna, how it's gonna end.
It's quite a big question to ask.
No, I think what
No,
every
nothing
day,
is for nothing.
every day you witness the same thing. For example,
Yeah.
if I give you a tomato,
Yeah.
if someone left a tomato on your table,
Yeah.
you would say, "Oh, where did it come from?" If you see a book, where did it come from? If you don't get it, so your intuition
Yeah.
was built in every day, every sphere of life, that you would question where did it come from. So Allah, the Creator, where we reached, yeah.
I wouldn't question where it came from.
No,
I
no, no.
just put it away.
Now imagine if someone give you money on your
Yeah.
table, you just come out of your kitchen
Yeah.
and suddenly you saw 500 pound there,
Yeah.
and there is no one there.
Yeah.
No, you see, this
Would
is
you not think that this, who did he give it to us? This
Yeah,
is
I
what,
would think that. That's because I have financial issues in my head.
let's say financial issue, anything, we always think and ponder where did it come from, because you are not involved in the process. Neither one of the family member is involved in
But
the
this is a
process.
good example. This is a good example. Imagine every morning you are awaking by a cold shower in your bed.
Yeah.
Cold shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be happy to carry on living like this every morning, being waken up with a cold shower? Or you would get up and finally ask you, where is this coming from?
Mm.
Why has this happened? Maybe there is a leak. Maybe there is something.
If it was normal,
Would you
I wouldn't
investigate?
question it. We don't question what's familiar.
No, listen, if you're driving a car and it's broken,
Yeah.
would you question what happened?
Yeah.
Would you call a mechanic?
Yeah.
Why?
Cool.
Because according to you, you don't question.
Go to my route.
Yeah, exactly.
Because-
Root.
Yes.
So
Now
this is
you're
where
getting there.
this is where we are trying to go. As brother was initially suggesting the idea that when we derive or follow something,
Yeah.
we need to go back to the root,
Yeah.
right? We need to go
Yeah.
back to the root if there is a difference of opinion,
Yeah.
and then we can sort it from there. For example, when you go to the doctor examine the root cause of the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll give an example. Yeah, I knew that many doctors, they actually, there was one guy long time ago.
Yeah.
So he has some issues related to his migraine.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was taking medicine. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
was telling me, I'm taking so many medicine, it's not curing me.
Yeah.
Finally, he went to a dentist,
Yeah.
and the dentist he given some painkiller, yeah, due to his tooth pain. And you know what happened?
What?
When the tooth pain stopped, the migraine also stopped.
Yeah.
The guy didn't realize where the root cause of the problem, right? Sometimes tooth
How is
pain.
the destination?
Now,
possible?
the question is, now doctor examined where the root cause of is. It is the tooth pain leads to the migraine issue or the headache, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same way, whenever we follow any faith
Yeah.
or follow any way, we need to investigate and challenge, am I following the correct way? And in order to know the correct way, we need to go back to the root and ask this existential question: where did I come from? If spirituality doesn't have a brain,
No.
It doesn't have any willful agent. Like, imagine if I ask you, make a cup of biryani
Yeah.
or a bowl of biryani
Yeah.
using the spirituality. Can you make it?
I can manifest it.
You can understand it. How?
Uh,
Because spirituality doesn't have a brain, doesn't have a will, doesn't have an active agent to perform action. So, in order to prepare a biryani, you need to have a willful agent to make it. First of all, the person make an intention, then he has to have the ability,
Knowledge.
knowledge, and then he has to have the equipment to make the biryani, right?
yeah.
In the absence of all these
Yeah.
things, intention on will and power and
Even
ability,
in the absence of
the
one of
biryani,
the criteria.
yeah,
Even one is absent,
yeah,
nothing will happen.
yeah. So when we investigate, can the term the called spirituality create the universe?
Yeah.
We have few existential questions. The biggest question of this existential question would be, who created the heavens and the earth,
Uh,
right? So, as demonstrated before me and my brother, that self creation is not possible,
yeah.
then you would have a choice, that either spirituality, let's look at spirituality by itself.
Okay.
It's a term, sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when I say nothing, there are some of the terms that we use in our daily life,
Yeah.
which is not actually an object or something that initiate things.
Yeah.
Like spirituality is a word, we use it. It
Yeah.
actually doesn't have, like I mentioned, doesn't have a will, doesn't have power, doesn't have the ability, doesn't have the knowledge, doesn't have the wisdom, right? So
No, spirituality is wise. That's why it's called spirituality.
yeah, can spirituality exist without a body and a mind? And
Um.
let me give you knowledge, your knowledge,
Yeah.
can your knowledge exist without you?
Yeah, because it's a
No, it
piece of
can't.
information
No,
when you
no, no,
share
no,
it
no, no,
exists
no.
without
If
you.
you do not exist, will there be any knowledge within you?
Huh?
If you do not exist in the reality, will you contain any knowledge? No, because that's an inherent thing that you learn, you grow within yourself. So your existence, along with your existence, you have the knowledge, you have the ability to cook, you have the ability to do certain things.
He's trying to say that
Yeah.
for your knowledge
Yeah.
to exist,
Yeah.
you have to
To
exist.
exist,
If there is no you,
there is no knowledge of you
there is no knowledge.
I
for yourself.
mean, there
Yeah,
are other sides to me which I find very enlightening, entertaining, and stuff, and lovable.
yeah. But the end goal of the spirituality, for example, if the term is an absurd and has no goal in it,
Yeah.
where can you determine your goal? Because if there is no goal, you can't score a goal. In order to
If
score a
there
goal, you
is
need to
no
have a
goal,
net to score the goal.
no,
Yeah.
if there is no goal, I will go ahead and think for myself.
Okay. You need to
Can you
think
do
for
that
you.
now? One
Yes.
second. Can
Correct.
you
Yeah.
do that now?
Yeah.
This is what I've been trying all this time.
Thank you very much. So you're thinking for yourself.
Yeah.
And we eliminated the possibility of everything coming from nothing.
Yeah.
We eliminated possibility that things would come, spontaneously,
Yeah.
without a mind behind it, without a
Yeah.
will and
Yeah.
power behind it.
Yeah.
So we come to the conclusion that there is a God, the Creator, who has a knowledge, power, will, right, in order to create all those things. Correct?
Yeah.
Number one. So it's clear that there is a Creator. It's
Yeah.
clear now. Now, those things that you call
What did you
spirits,
say?
those, sorry?
What
No,
did?
I said there is a
Because
God.
I'm partially deaf for
Oh, I'm
both
sorry. I'll
ears.
speak
Yeah.
louder. So
Could you slow down as well?
sure.
Thank you.
We have concluded that
Yeah.
there is a creator,
Yeah.
and it has to be one, correct?
Yeah.
Because if there are two creators and they, let's say, misunderstood or have some disagreement, the thing, the way the things work, they wouldn't work like that. There would be always some problems, correct?
Yeah.
Because two almighty things, or
Yeah.
two almighty entities,
Yeah.
okay, one of them has some some ideas that contradicts the ideas of the other.
Yeah.
So there would always be wars on mega level, correct?
Yeah.
So what do we understand is that that mighty entity should be one in order for all these to be the way they are. Number one. Number two, everything else, whatever we think there is, should be lower than him. That means there are no gods. They are not gods. They are spirits. They are different entities. You know, they could have a different body. They could have different abilities, different, let's say, strengths, whatever. But they are no gods. He is the God. That's it. So that is final. God is one. Now, if we say that we call them, let's say, someone who has abilities, as we said in the beginning, to appear, to move heavy things, to manifest themselves in different creatures, different forms. If we call them angels, would you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say they are angels, okay?
Angels.
Yeah, let's call them angels.
Angels.
But if we say that the angels exist, then what's the purpose for them to exist? What do you think?
What's the purpose? Don't you just mind your own business and let them do their thing?
Okay, so do you think that God, the Almighty, the All-Knowing,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
created something without a purpose?
What do you mean? Yeah,
Like
someone
you
be
said,
able before
angels.
him.
You just said that the angels
Yeah.
would mind their own life, their own business, the
No,
way
the
they want,
humans would.
like we do, for example, right?
The humans would
Yeah.
do
But
that.
at the same time, you have to understand that we are, let's say, we are not here by ourselves
Yeah.
the way we like it.
Yeah.
Because if you ask any human being
Yeah.
what would he like
Yeah.
the most in this world, he
Yeah.
would say, I want endless life.
Really?
Yeah, and I think sister, when you said that if the creator is there and he created the things and he
Yeah.
left us alone, yes,
Yeah.
and mind your own business, yeah,
Yeah.
this is not how we think in this world. And I'll tell you why this is an inconsistent way to believe it, right? For example, in this universe we
Yeah.
live in,
Yeah.
are we free or are we governed by someone else?
We're governed by someone else, obviously.
Right,
There's
right.
government
So
everywhere.
government everywhere,
Yeah.
your police there,
We have the media
media
telling
there,
us what to
right?
think.
So look, we are within a program. So in our everyday life,
Yeah.
every sphere of our life,
Yeah.
we are being governed, and there is a purpose set for us. There is a purpose set for the community, right? So we are custom with this programming within the societal boundary.
Yeah.
This is consistent. But when comes to inconsistency, when people say, okay, I accept the societal boundaries and rules and regulation and penalties and fines, but the moment comes to God, they said, oh, why don't God mind his own business, right? Why don't God us leave us alone? But this is an inconsistent way to think. The
Yeah.
consistent way to think, just as I am in this world, I've been rewarded for the good stuff I do and punished for any criminal activities I do. This is how we think the rationality has been built.
Yeah.
The same way, after this life, based on what we have done in this life, there should be a reward and punishment. Otherwise, what would be
Conclusion,
the
yes.
what would be what would be the true purpose of the life? Let's, for
Because
example,
otherwise, as you said, reincarnation and stuff, that
yeah,
means the
yeah,
endless circle of life.
yeah,
Like nothing ends. You
yeah,
just keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
But if you look at the universe, and
Yeah.
according to the science, I believe you did just say that if science proves something, I believe it, right?
Yeah.
So the science is telling us that universe is not endless. The universe is going to end.
Yeah.
The universe right now is expanding, and
Yeah.
according to the law of physics,
Yeah.
there will be a moment when it will stop expanding and it will start to go back into the point it started from. It's going to literally close back.
Is that the latest science?
Yeah, that's what the science teaches.
Okay.
That
so
it's,
the universe will perish. This
yeah,
this will be
it's
an
going
end
to
time.
perish. It's going to go.
Yeah. So the solar system, the energy that exists in this universe,
Yeah.
these are not eternal, meaning these are not designed for eternity. It has a temporal nature. When I say temporal nature,
And
I'm not
this
saying
is
it's 5 minutes, but it has a time, maybe 50,000 years or 5 million years or 10 million years, but it's not an infinite time, it's a finite time, meaning
Yeah.
there is a beginning point already we know, and there will be an end point.
Yeah.
But the being that initiated the whole process within it
Yeah.
and given you this rationality
Yeah.
that how you everyday think, how you everyday live,
Yeah.
you have some concept built within you.
Yeah.
If you follow the same concept,
Yeah.
and if you do not change your position, how you live life,
Yeah.
you would eventually worship the same God that we do. The problem is not we are asking for a new thing to embrace. We are asking people to be rational and consistent. Just like we have purpose in everything, our life has also a purpose. Just like anything we see, a jacket.
How is the Almighty our purpose? Isn't our purpose something that we find, we feel through, and we experience,
No, I think there's a
and then
two. Yeah,
eventually
yeah.
we'll find the
So there is
Almighty
two different thing in
or some
purpose.
higher power?
Yeah, there is two different thing in the purpose, right? First of all, when a maker, let's say you make a phone. Let's say you are an owner of the phone company. You define a purpose for this phone. You will tell the battery. You will tell how long it will, meaning how long it will sustain. It has some chips and cameras, and you will say, look, this maybe works for 10 years, 5 years, and yeah. And then you will give a manual, what is the best way to use it. Yeah, do not overcharge, do not leave the phone charge for the whole night, right? It will drain the battery. So there will be a guidance. Now this is, as an owner you give the manual. As a user, someone who's experiencing using the system, so when he's using that phone, he is getting accustomed with, and that is what he is looking at the purpose what already given to you.
Okay.
Now what you have said is the second option, that we are making our ways in our daily life when we, because look, there are certain guidance we learn daily. For example, when we look at how we drive, in the particular road, we know the road sign, we follow those purpose because this is already designed, right? I am accustomed, I'm accustomed, I'm familiar with the routes,
you're
and
following
I'm
the
following the routes.
instructions.
Yeah.
Now this purpose, so you are following that purpose, but the same purpose was formulated by the DBLA authority. DBLA authority telling you that if there is a 20-mile speed camera, if you drive in 30 miles, what will happen? They
You
will
get
send you a
penalized.
they will send you a ticket, right? They will
Okay.
send you. They will impose and enforce a penalty on you. I don't know how much penalty nowadays, but yeah, they will give you points and put restriction and bans and so on.
It means there is a punishment.
Yeah.
Every action has the consequences.
So what you said, sister, is the second aspect of the purpose. I
Mm.
am. We are telling you the source of the purpose, not the use of the purpose. So there is a difference between use of purpose and the source of the purpose.
Yeah.
The source of the purpose is the one who make the universe and maker of all of us. So the maker of the universe will need to give us a guidance, right? If there is no guidance, how do we know what is our purpose?
In another words, in
Yeah,
another
go for it.
words, uh, God has created everything with a reason.
That's your viewpoint.
Yeah, that's the point.
I
God has.
respect that.
Yeah, you accept that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no problem with accepting that.
No.
Number one. Number two,
Yeah.
we have a free will.
Oh.
God is giving us a free will to decide how we're gonna live our life.
Oh.
God is giving us free will to decide how we're gonna live our life. Yet He warned us. Remember that you have a day when you were brought into this world with a purpose, and you live your life the way you like. Means the way you decide. Like every day we make a decision. Do I eat Chinese or biryani? Do I eat bread or I go for, I don't know, cheesy bites? Every day we make a decision. Do I take taxi or I go by train? Every time is a decision, 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 decision. And every decision has what? Consequence.
Yeah.
You decided to work hard and earn your money, earn your living in the righteous way.
Yeah.
What's the consequence of it? You, as a person, feel what? Clean and honest before God. You're not considered to be criminal. Why? Because you're doing everything in a righteous way, in an honest way. But imagine somebody decided to steal instead of work. What do we call him? Criminal. Correct? If somebody is stealing, for example, you earn your money working
Yeah.
all month, okay?
Yeah, but
But
I'm not
somebody
that
steals.
high and almighty that I
I,
look
I,
down
I
on
will
someone
give you
that
I will give you an
steals.
example. I will give an example. You work all month, work hard to earn your living.
Yeah.
Somebody has access to your bank account and steals your money.
Yeah.
What would you say to that person? Well done.
I wouldn't say anything to that person. That person would
Imagine
be
you have.
almost gone by then.
Imagine you have. Imagine you have.
Okay.
The man was caught. The man was brought to you. You have a chance to talk to him. What would you say? Thank you for stealing my money?
Some.
No.
No. What would you say? Would you tell authorities to deal with him?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shukran.
So the authorities have to deal with him because his actions brought him these consequences, correct?
Yeah.
So is it your fault? No. Is it our fault? No. Whose fault is it? His fault. It's his fault, right? His decision, his actions brought him to the consequences and punishment. So the consequence in his case is a punishment. Is he happy now? No. Why? Because he probably go to jail. Nobody would be happy to go to jail,
Yeah.
correct? The same thing with the purpose of our life.
Mm.
God has created us into this world, into so complicated world, beautiful, beautiful world.
Yeah.
Okay, giving us a perfect body to live in this world. Because for this world to be a human being, okay, that means to have 100% exactly the body you have now. If something wouldn't be the way it is now, it wouldn't be able to exist in this world. And you wouldn't be a human.
Yeah.
But God has created you as a human. He gave you a soul and He also gave you right to decide for yourself.
Mm.
Yet, imagine you as a pedestrian crossing the road and there is a red light and the green light. When do you cross the line? Oh, sorry, road. Red light or green light?
Um,
Of course, it's green light.
Green light.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you are crossing the road and it's up to you to make a decision. Correct? It's up to you to make your decision. Green light or red light. Correct?
Yeah.
So how do you know that it's a green light? Green light is what? Knowing that the green light is the correct moment or right time to cross the road is a knowledge, correct? It's a knowledge, right? You know it. That it's the right time to cross the light is a green light, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it. And you
I
know,
think the question would be, sister, that in the world we live in, yeah,
Yeah.
let's say if there is no guidance on anything,
Yeah.
do you think this world will be peaceful to live on? Let's say there is no,
If there was less guidance, we'll
no,
have.
not less guidance. I said no guidance.
Okay.
There is no traffic light. There is no police. There is no guidance at all.
You know what?
No, I
I
mean,
have something I saw in the grocery store. There was no person at the till, and people just continued to go to the automatic cash point till, and they did things all by themselves. People ordered themselves all by themselves. Society can do that.
why did they decide to do it? Why
I
did
don't
they?
know.
Was it their own decision? Or there is actually a knowledge and understanding that this is the right way of doing it?
Okay,
So
there
there
is
would
a
be no.
knowledge and an understanding of this is the right way of doing things.
Exactly. So they had the knowledge based, they understanding
Yeah.
that this is the right way of doing is based on the knowledge that
Yeah.
unless you stray, you queue up and you
Yeah.
follow each other instead of getting into chaos and fighting for your right.
Yeah.
Unless you do that, there will be chaos and nobody will proceed. Then you will be
yeah.
remain where you are, fighting each other. So, so their decision of standing in line, letting each other, do first and then go after each other, is based on the knowledge that this is the perfect and the right way of doing it. So our life here, okay, should also, well, let's say it shouldn't be chaotic, because if you do whatever you want, he does whatever he wants, I do whatever he wants, that guy likes to kill people and he does whatever he wants, what's going to happen?
Yes.
Chaos. Somebody likes to kill women, somebody likes to kill
Sister,
men, somebody.
think practically. Look,
Kids,
Yes.
they're not really governed by anything apart from adults. Adults govern them. I understand that, but when they're running around in school and playing around, they still all end up with good traits.
Very nice. Very good. This is a very good example.
That's
You
how
know
we are
why?
all in the beginning.
Thank you very much. You know why?
Uh,
God says in the Quran that He has created us
uh,
with a fitra. Fitra means the natural, pious state of closeness to God. So when we are babies, we are closer to God than when we make a decision and become Christian or else, because at that time,
uh,
God has already placed that natural state of your closeness, of your cleanliness, your spiritual and physical cleanliness, sinlessness, into you. God has already placed it in you. Okay? And He guides you. And if somebody dies before you reach the moment of puberty, you know what moment of puberty is? Moment of puberty,
yeah, I know what it
according
is.
to us,
I know what it is.
not physical, I'm not saying
Oh.
physical, but is the time, okay, when the people actually grew up enough to understand what they're doing. Do you understand what I'm saying? For example, some people could physically reach the moment of puberty already,
Yeah.
but mentally they don't understand what they're
Men
doing.
take time to
Like
get there.
sick, not only that. I mean sick people. Some people are sick, mentally sick. They
unwell
already
mentally,
grew
they are
up,
they.
but mentally sick.
Yeah,
Will you judge them? No, because they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand.
yeah, yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like
No.
disabled people. Mentally disabled people who cannot understand that putting his hand into fire will hurt. There are some people who are mentally sick, mentally disabled, so they don't understand that, using the knife, trying to poke your, hand will actually hurt you. He doesn't understand that, unfortunately. Something that it's even, wow, it's fun. Some people cannot make decisions like them by themselves. So those people are not considered to be matured, and even if because of them somebody get hurt, we don't consider him as a criminal, because what he did was because he did not understand what he was doing. Do you understand now? I'm
Sure.
comparing to the person who actually knows and understands and is able to make a decision, but he prefers to do evil things. Do you understand now? So the same action done by two different people, okay, could bring them to the different conclusion. One could be punished because he knew what he was doing and he did it intentionally, and the other one, who was, mentally disabled person, did not understand what he was doing. Okay, then you will be more lenient to forgive him, don't you think?
Sure.
Yes. So those things, those things are from the beginning. The understanding of right and wrong, good and bad, they are from the beginning given to you. Every child has it. Do you know that Oxford University, they had research, and as a result of the research, I think that they took like years and years of researching. They researched, they used babies to research, and they concluded that if children placed in the environment
Yeah.
where they would live on their own, provided with
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
yet
Yeah.
without influencing their own decision,
Yeah.
they grow up believing that there is
A God.
God.
So this
And it
study.
doesn't matter, the race,
Yeah,
doesn't matter the gender,
yeah,
doesn't matter. All of them believe that there is a God.
yeah. So sister, if let's go back to,
Amazing.
let's go back to very very good point, brother Murad. Yeah. Um, so when we the discussion, the total overall discussion is, yeah,
Yeah.
your way of living, my way of living, and I'm a Muslim, by the way, his way of living. So when we evaluated, yeah, challenged our position, right?
Yeah.
So we have looked into your belief in a spirituality manner, right?
Yeah.
And then we applied some common sense, right?
Yeah.
We didn't use rocket science.
Yeah.
We use some of the common sense
Yeah.
to show you that, sister, you may follow something,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily follows your rational reasoning. It's very inconsistent with the way you live on every day, because you live a very consistent, we all live in a very consistent way of thinking,
Yeah.
like reward for good, punishment for criminals. There is rules and guidance, and we realize that without guidance the world will be in chaos. The same way,
I've seen different though.
no,
Like
no,
I
no, no, no,
said, the
sister,
example at the
I,
grocery store.
I'll tell you why. Look, in the grocery store,
Yeah.
in the grocery store, is there any rules there? There are many rules. Even the machine has a rules. So even the machine, if you don't scan it and if you run away, the barcode will give you a signal and beep 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 beep.
Exactly, you will
Right.
be
So
arrested.
we don't make hyper skepticism. There is a skepticism. There are two lines of speculation. When we investigate, we use a skepticism, meanings we ensure that is it the correct, is the information is valid, is the source of information valid. We do all of those things. That's called skepticism. Hyper skepticism is after evaluating all of this reasoning,
Yeah.
then you go back to your own blind belief and
Yeah.
rejecting in the first premise of you utilize your skepticism and you know this is true. So I am saying the way you live, the way we live in this world, we live a very practical life. We don't live in a manner that very unpractical or non-practical. So if uh, so that is
Should I
fourth.
just cut it?
Yeah.
This conversation is gonna go for a really long time
That's
because
why. That's why, sister.
I
I'm
I,
concluding. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you have your views and I accept that.
No, no,
So
no. Sure,
can I
sure,
just quickly go because
sure.
I need
Yeah.
to
Sure,
do some
Sure.
shopping
sure,
urgently.
sure.
So we would like to, sister, we would like to give you the copy of the Quran
Sure.
as a gift,
Sure.
and we believe, look, that the discussion we are having
Sure.
is ultimately telling us that rather than formulating our kind of subjective belief,
Sure.
let's look at our life from a total objective point,
Sure.
meaning if we identify the existential question
Sure.
and then no way we cannot deny there was a maker, then the following question would become to us: why I'm here, where am I going, what am I doing, what is my actual purpose? This cannot be known through our whims and desire. Rather, this has to come from an objective source, and which we believe Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth. And the first things we, as a Muslim, we tell someone is to introduce the God of Islam, because there are a lot of religion telling, oh, we follow this God, we follow this God, but the
Yeah,
God
that's
of,
everyone's
yeah,
right to
exactly.
believe,
So in Islamic
exercise
God,
in
Islamic God is
practice.
very simple. Is that when you reasonably think about this universe,
Yeah.
it's signed to a one unique, mighty creator,
Yeah.
and that mighty creator is not deficient, meaning that it doesn't need to eat, sleep, or drink, or it's not depend on anything else. Rather, it's independent. Now, if you look at this construction or the concept of God in Islam, and then you compare and contrast with other gods in different religion, you will eventually, if you use your sound mind, you will eventually come back to the God of Islam and worship,
And
inshallah.
when we say God of Islam, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that Islam created a God. No,
Yeah,
Islam is the way
yeah,
to achieve what the purpose of your life is.
yeah.
Well, that's what you believe.
Yes, because God, the Almighty, the one that we agreed exists, yeah, He guides people from evil to what is good for them. Do you understand?
That's what you believe. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
So the belief has to
it
with
would
the
be
reason,
wrong, isn't it?
with the reason. Belief has to go, like I said, sister.
Can I go? I
Sure,
really have
sure,
to go. Thank
sure.
Please.
you.
Look
Thank
out, look
you.
after yourself.
No problem. All the
So
best.
I think, Brother Murad, let's clarify one of the the aim of the discussion is, right?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, sister is spiritualist, right? And I asked in the beginning that, sister, when we live in a practical world, we have a certain traits within ourselves, how we think, how we perform, how we live in this world. This is a very practical life where we need guidance, we use thinking and rationality. So when it comes to the belief or believing anything about God and supernatural things or spirituality, then we must apply the similar standard and being consistent. If we become consistent, then where do we end up? Do we end up on spirituality or do we end up in Islam? That was the goal. And mashallah, then you explained to her. And do you, Brother Murad, I would say, from my understanding, that if we look at the total discussion,
Well, just you want to do live and you stop. Isn't that? Well, I'm joking.
so if we look at the nature of the discussion, I find often people deny the truth is not they deny the truth uh, easily. They have to force themselves. And why I say that? Because every day the way they think is everything is rationally think. When they cross the road, do you think they just, oh, let me run? No, they look at, they use all these intellectual faculties, these five senses that Allah given us. But when it comes to the religion, they kind of, block all of those avenues, and they become inconsistent to reject the idea.
Yes, I agree with you. You see, as you just mentioned, on daily life, whether it comes to business, whether it comes to health, whether it comes to literally driving a car, or
Yeah,
using the
yeah,
train, whatever, they are looking and they are following a certain rules, certain instructions,
correct.
certain
Yeah,
information
yeah,
that will allow them to achieve the target.
correct.
But as we said, most of the time they don't think who is the source of this information, where did it came from.
Mm.
As you mentioned in the discussion, in the conversation before, that the rules of transport moving around in the city is set by a certain organization, authority,
Yes.
that we call DVLA in the
Yeah, yeah,
UK.
yeah, yeah.
They decide what the speed will be.
Yes,
They
correct.
decide whether you cross the road on a red
Sure,
light
sure.
or a
Yeah,
light
sure,
light.
sure.
And in England, for example, comparing to other countries, this is one of the few countries where the driving is on the right hand side instead of the left hand side,
Mm.
isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So that
I was in actually in Europe, in Germany, a few months ago, and where they don't drive the way we drive in UK.
exactly.
It's
So
other ways.
again, it indicates that there is authority
Yeah,
who decide, and
yeah,
nothing is coming from nothing. Okay, and in order for you to avoid chaos, collision, problems, you have to follow the certain information
yeah,
that we call instructions
yeah.
or rules. Yet, yet, when it comes to thinking of uh, infinite matters,
Like existential question.
questions of existence,
Yeah.
questions that are, beyond of your limited world, somehow people limit themselves